I mean, I've been wondering and observing such tremendous changes in the community space post-pandemic, right? And it's like everything just shot up to power. So what do you feel about it, and how adverse do you think is the effect of the pandemic in the community space?
I think, strangely enough, because I don't think anyone's happy that the pandemic happened, but for our field, it seems to me that the pandemic brought awareness to our field unlike anything I've experienced since I've been in the field. So I guess you could say that's a good thing. I know I have always been hoping and championing our field and hoping more people knew about it, and that more businesses wanted their own communities, and that more people wanted to come into this field. And, you know, when I would tell friends and family, they didn't know what it was that I did. They didn't understand. And people were just kind of like, is there really a market for that? Like, and just, so now, like, yes, there is, because guess what? When nobody could meet with their customers in person or bring people together, everyone wanted a community. Everyone wanted an online community or a digital gathering space. So in that way, I guess you could call it a positive out of the pandemic. And with this rapid growth and interest now, it is really neat to start to see the different roles starting to be formed. So instead of what used to be the most common title, community manager, we are now just seeing many different kind of specialties within the community professional realm. And so that is really exciting. Some of the other things, though, I do think that community professionals are going to need to really focus on now that we are this far into the pandemic. I don't want to say out, I don't want to jinx us, but we're this far in. I think that some of the big things people are having to deal with is the question of hybrid events. For countries where it is starting to be safe again to meet in person, I think a lot of communities have to wrestle now, what is going to be the right balance of events, in person and virtual, and what of those are going to be hybrid? And how do you now satisfy those two audiences? Because that's going to be very challenging to satisfy an in-person audience and satisfy a virtual audience. I was just talking with another community professional the other day who was in a work meeting that was hybrid, and she said they didn't do a really good job about satisfying the people who were there in person. They were really catering to everybody joining remotely, and that just made the in-person experience terrible, she said. So that's going to be a challenge, especially for people planning events for their communities. And then another challenge I think people are running up against somewhat post-pandemic is Zoom fatigue, that we've had to be on remote meetings so much. I see you agreeing. Are you experiencing any of that? I am a little bit, not this morning, but yeah, it's a real thing, right? There have been some wonderful virtual events that have come through my inbox, and I've looked at them and thought, oh, I would love to join that. And then I go to put it on my calendar, and I realize how I've got meetings all around it. And I'm just like, I just can't, like, however great the topic may be and the content, I can't do it, because I know on that day looking, oh my gosh, I'm going to be on Zooms all day. And I'm no understanding my own Zoom tolerance better.